What's going on YouTube? It's Ninja Turtle, and sorry, it's been a while. It's been actually a little over a month since I've done an upload of a new custom action figure. I took a bit of a break because one, the PlayStation 5 came out. I really wanted to play Miles Morales, and I just needed a gaming break because I hadn't played any games since I started full-time, well, relatively full-time making customs in September. So I haven't played any games, so I wanted to play Miles Morales. I also played a little bit of Mortal Kombat 11 and some whatever else game, Pokemon. There we go. That's what I was doing. And although I am done with Miles and I can still play those other games, I decided to get back in to making customs and put off any other gaming for a little while. However, before I started doing that in November, I actually finished this Pixie. I just never made this video, so I'm a little overdue. I've got a couple videos of customs that I finished that are on the way. And lastly, I did skip, and just announcing that I'm skipping a month-end video for the month of November because I didn't do a whole lot during the month of November. So I'll do one in at the end of the month of December that'll basically cover November and December. But anyway, if you're here for Pixie here, and what we're going to do, just like I do in all of my videos, I will explain what the parts are and where they came from if you want to make your own Pixie, so you can try to do the same thing I did, or of course if you have other ideas, you can take your own ideas and go with those. But I like explaining how my Pixie works and showing you from head to toe exactly what she is. So let's start with actually going straight down like always. And her boots, these boots actually came from a domino figure. However, they were modified quite a bit. So you can see, again, it was from this domino, and I took these legs straight from off of there. She's missing her head and some other pieces, but that's for other customs coming later. But yeah, it was just from domino, and everything is the same, but the domino pieces are silver on the front of the leg here. Removing all of that paint, primed it, and painted everything yellow, including the boots. But normally on the domino, there's like little circles, about 6 circles going off the knee pads. I sanded all of that off, and then took some epoxy sculpt and sculpted these X's on there, so that way it looks similar to the way her knee pads look on the actual character. Now the actual shin guards and stuff like that aren't what Pixie has on her typical look, but I felt that this was good enough because she usually has like big bulky leg armor or whatever you want to call it pieces, and I could have done that with epoxy sculpt and just made regular legs really thick and bulky, but I also try to not do as much sculpting as possible, or using that much sculpt, because it would then be problematic elsewhere in other ways. So trying to make things a little bit more simple and having something in that vein, something in that style, and I felt that this looks good and looks appropriate enough. Continuing on, these thighs and the hips, if you know me, I always like using pop on legs, pop on pop off legs that don't need the torso to be cracked. You can just take these off just by heating it up or just pulling them off. They just snap on like a head swap or a hand swap. So these legs in particular are from a AOA Age of Apocalypse Jean Grey. I don't have one available to show, but that's where these legs came from. They used to be blue, they're black now. I just painted them. In general, with Pixie, I had decided that I wanted to make all of this black, as opposed to one of the other choices was making it dark blue instead of black, like kind of like a midnight blue. And I wrestled with it for a while, but I figured most of the time it does look black, and I like the way it looks black. It is a weird looking thing, but even she's not the only X-Man or X-Woman to have black and yellow or black and gold. So I went with it, and I like it. It's just the colors are very bold. The black is very strong, and I do like strong colors in general, so I don't mind it. And as I continue to make customs, she'll have others that match her anyway, so I'm totally fine with how that turned out. Instead of using blue. Now we got X23 here, and X23 here is just for one thing, and that's the belt. So you can see the differences in the belt, or the similarities I should say. It is the same belt, but remove the paint here on the silver and just made it black on that side. And then since I had to remove the paint for the silver, ended up removing all of the X, red and black, and had to repaint it. So it's the same though. And then all of the rest of the belt is the same yellow color. In particular, so if just in case if you wanted to match the same kind of color, the yellow that is on her legs and knees and then her body, her torso, all of that is called chrome yellow, and that is Model Masters acrylic chrome yellow. All of the yellow that is on her belt and on her arm bracers, or whatever you want to call that, that is called thunder yellow, and that is Angelus acrylic leather paint. So those are two different brands of paint, but I think they match very well together. And ideally, the chrome yellow is what I want to use on all of my X-Men, so they can all have a consistent yellow, as well as it feels more gold yellow than it is bright yellow. So that's what I'm going for with my X-Men. So most of them will have this kind of yellow. It didn't come out super clean though. You can kind of see some texturing in there, or just like some streaks of whether it be brush strokes or the primer or the base color of the plastic that's there. I don't mind it too much. It kind of looks like weathering. It's not on purpose, but it's there, so whatever, it's fine with me. Getting back to her body though, her torso is actually again from the Age of Apocalypse Jean Grey. So while we have it here, the height comparison, you can see X23 and her teen body, she's supposed to be 5'5". Pixie is, I believe, also 5'5", but it's funny how I'm using a teen. I'm gonna say teen. Excuse me. This is a teen body. This is an adult body basically, but I was able to get them to scale pretty well. She may be a little bit taller for what it's worth. I think she needs to come back a little bit, but for the most part, they have similar height. It's mostly because of this Age of Apocalypse Jean Grey torso, the lower torso that is. It is by far the shortest lower torso on any adult figure that I've seen, and really it's about the same length as this teenage torso, or this torso on X23, which is considered teen, right? They're about the same width and same height. So that I'm able to, the legs are the same length. Actually, no, I think these are longer legs, but they end up looking about the same. Now, the upper torso are completely different, so we don't really need X23 anymore for this. But the upper torso is pretty much a standard upper torso that you would find on most any figure, whether it be Invisible Woman or Polaris or Dazzler or whatever you can find that you got laying around. That's all it is. But you can see that she has wings. So these wings came from a retro wave wasp. Now you don't have to use these wings, but I liked these in particular because I like that they are pretty much white, but they still have like a pink sheen to them. You can see that a little bit on the camera, like a little bit of pink glimmer to them. Pixie's wings have been depicted in many different colors, so most of the time they are pink. And if you wanted just straight pink wings, you can use female Beetle's wings, and those are straight up pink. I don't have one of those available yet right now either, but that is something. I actually have plenty of those sitting around, but I really wanted these wings from Retro Wasp to be represented here. But like I said, the back of the upper torso on this particular upper torso is actually from Dazzler, the Retrowave Dazzler. So it was like light blue, but that does not have a ports for supporting wings. So I did take the Retrowave Wasps, the ports that go for these wings, off of the back of that by taking a knife, a X-Acto knife, and cutting them off while they're warmed up so they're nice and soft, cutting them off with the knife and then gluing them onto the back of this torso. So once again, it's just a regular torso that you can get off of like here from a Dazzler or a in this case Polaris, and then I glued on these ports so that the wings can go on there. It isn't perfect. It doesn't go in there perfectly. Sometimes it does fall out because it's just, you know, it wasn't sculpted or made that way. It wasn't meant to be in that on that torso. Not that it's a big problem. It's just more of the cutting off wasn't an exact science. So it didn't leave enough room for the wings to port in there perfectly, but it works enough that they stay in there unbothered. If I start messing around with them, they might pop off, but it looks good enough. Moving on, back to not Dazzler, to Polaris here. So you can see her arm bracers. That's what those came from the Polaris. But there's some extra modifications on there. So you can see on the side, we've got this like these little notches or little bumps there. Those are actually little cuts from me using, in particular, a Polaris cape. So the cape has the port that goes into the back, the hole. So this has the peg hole, the part that actually is on the cape. I cut that off on other figures and other customs I was making. So I had some extra ones that were just like a little stick of, you know, a peg or whatever for the cape, and cut those down like pepperoni basically, and glued them on there and then painted on top of that. So that's exactly what's going on with that. And I thought that worked out pretty well, so we can get that detail there that is for Pixie's arms. In particular, now we're going to, real quick, the hands are just, you know, I think this hand came from Blink, probably weapon holding hand, and then just an open hand. You can get those anywhere. But the dagger in particular, so this was custom made. It's pretty easy going. It's not really anything fancy, but it is just a sword, a katana from a Lady Deadpool, but I cut the katana here so it's shorter of a handle, and then repainted that a light gray color. Now normally Pixie's dagger is pretty white, and it's not shaped like this or anything like that. It's just I wanted it to use this is a one of the things from Blink, one of her little Blink dagger things, whatever her weapons. But I cut it in half and then stuck it on top of the katana handle there. And I did that because normally when Pixie uses her dagger, it glows pink. So I could have just used like a regular sword and painted it white, or take this and painted it white or gray or whatever, but I wanted that glowing effect. So I just used this as just to make a little pink glowing dagger. One thing you could do if you wanted to use just a regular dagger, like a regular sword, color sort of thing, but still have the pink effect, you could wrap around, like if you had a infamous Iron Man, they have like those lightning effects from the infamous Iron Man, or other characters that have like that lightning color. But I know infamous Iron Man is pink, the effect is pink, so you could wrap it around a dagger that you make of your own if that's something you wanted to do. Lastly, the arms are shorter arms, like the teenage arms in particular. These also were the arms that came on the Retro Wave Wasp, so they used to be blue. But I do emphasize that they are the shorter arms that are on like a teenage figure like this, as opposed to the longer, bigger, bulkier arms that are on an adult figure. Mostly did that because of how short her upper torso is. These two torsos aren't meant to be together, so they work, but they're not meant to be together. So this is a really short lower torso and an average size upper torso, but she still looks kind of stubby. If I used regular arms on there, she would have super big, long arms. So I think this looks a lot better like this. All right, and if you haven't figured it out by now, like I said, I used Blink, not just for the daggers, but also for the head. It is the exact same Blink head and hair, but obviously repainted. So, one of the reasons Pixie has fairy ears, like pointy ears, just like Blink does. So it's just an easy swap over, move over. Blink is purple skin. Pixie kind of has like a pinkish color, so I did go with a more warmer flesh tone than I normally would on someone that's Caucasian, or just using more of that warmer tone, so she does come out a little bit more pink. Then obviously her eyes are painted black. What's unfortunate is, because this is the first time I've painted eyes black like this, she does have, instead of white on her eyes, it's black. But then her iris is actually pink. And I did paint pink in her eye, but you can't see it whatsoever because the black is so strong. I painted the pink on top of the black, but it doesn't matter. You can't see it. So that's something I'll work on next time when I work on another character that has this sort of setup here. But the hair is a fluorescent pink color. And is, again, just coloring right on top of this hair. I did remove the hair and did all that stuff and replaced it, or removed it and then put it back on after it was painted. But I also put a different head sculpt together, and I didn't want her to have this head to be the way I displayed her. It wasn't intended. This was meant to be the alternate head sculpt, but unfortunately, this head sculpt that I had put together, which I love this one much better, because he still has the ears here. It is the same Blink head with the ears and all that stuff, but this hair is coming from the I guess it's Retro Wave Spider-Man Gwen Stacy. So this is the Gwen Stacy hair with pink, so it's a lot brighter on here than this one, because this hair is like this auburn color, and then painting on top of that, it just came out darker, where this was originally blonde and it came out a lot lighter and really nice. And then using the same yellow as on the bracers and on the belt, painting that on her headband. I really want her displayed with this. But the reason why I can't display her with this, like I can't, is because her wings. I didn't realize that this hair was going to be getting in the way, and it is. It's too long. So if you put it on her, her hair is going to go right on where her wing ports are going to be. So if I wanted her displayed without her wings on whatsoever, then I could use this head. But if I want her wings on, and I do, because she's Pixie, she's got to have her wings, I have to use this shorter hair. So again, I initially made two head sculpts anyway, but I had I didn't test ahead of time to see if this head would work with this. I probably wouldn't have made this whatsoever if I did a test ahead of time, but that's just my fault. Oopsies. But either way, this is Pixie. That's pretty much everything else it is. Again, it's just yellow, black, a custom knee sculpt, and just some modifications here and there on existing parts and pieces. A lot of inspiration from Blink, in particular the head. I got so many of these heads, so that's why one reason why I made 2 head sculpts in particular. And yeah, that's it for Pixie. She's a relatively actually old. She's getting like 20 years old as a character in the real world. Like she's been around for 20 years, but she's seldomly used nowadays. I do like the character a lot. I hope she comes back in a big way at some point soon. It's been a while since I've been reading X-Men comics. I don't know if she's involved in anything currently, but hopefully she will get back around and she will be on my modern X-Men shelf, which is basically everything from 2000 and up. So I'm super excited to have this finished, and I think she looks really pretty. She would look better with this head, but what you gonna do? Anyway, that's it for this video. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button if you like this custom, and make sure you come back for more. I do have more on the way this week. I do have more customs to start. I'm actually, halfway done prepping a few, and hopefully we'll get those done very, very soon. I don't want to share right now what they are, but one is very, very, very exciting to me, and the other one is really, really cool if I can get it done. And one of them is a boy. How about that? Well, technically it's not really a boy, but it identifies as male, I guess, would be the best way to put it. Anyway, see you guys next time. Hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know if there's anything else that you would like to see. Also, anything that you would do differently for your Pixie, or if you think this Pixie should have something different going on, like maybe it should be dark blue instead of black. Let me know. I will see you guys later.